You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Well, good morning. This is Friday, and if you were looking for the weekly broadcast of Ask Welfare Rights, you've been successful once again. My name is Maureen Taylor. I work with the Michigan Welfare Rights Organization, and just happy that you're able to find us and tune us in. We're trying to do some things to improve our viewership during this hour on Friday. The chairperson of the National Welfare Rights Union to give an official welcome. So, Marion, please say good morning.
Good morning, and it's so good to be out and see the sunshine, and I know y'all gonna make us shine because you're gonna be calling in. Where do you call in now? You call in, I know a lot of you see those numbers down there at the bottom. You wanna call in to these numbers. They are 313-868-0342.
And he just gave you that piece
Yeah,
of paper
I know
to
it.
tell
I
you
just
you can
was
look at it right there.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you put it up here so you can see
that
it?
might be the best way.
Yeah, hey,
There you go.
868
Zero.
oh, let me do this. 868-0342, 868-0351, or 868-4336. And Marianne, what if you're on the website?
Girl, I'm gonna go on for a few weeks. The website.
It's on the paper at the
the
bottom. It looks
yeah,
like it says www.
TV 33.
You have to sit up so that they can hear you.
www.TV33.
www.
Maureen,
You got to read what's
give
on
me
the paper.
okay, that's what I'm trying to do. If you be quiet over there. .com. Let's go again. www.TV30 TV33WHPR.com. All right. We hope when you call in that you do not. What was that?
Don't use your speakerphone.
If you have a speakerphone, please don't use the speakerphone, and turn your TV down. Where we won't have to
That
stop for
background
that.
noise,
Yeah, all that
yeah.
noise and then what have you. Again, it's good to be here. You see, I'm trying to adopt back to what we usually do, but it's kind of hard. Where are we going, Maureen?
Well, there are a lot of things happening.
Too many things.
Yeah, we've got some grieving that we're involved in right now. One of our dearest and closest and one of the friends that we've had for decades, Miss Brenda Quant. Brenda and Ted, he told me a couple of weeks ago that how difficult it is to deal with this loss of his wife. He and Brenda been married 50 years, and her homegoing services are today. They live in New Orleans, and they have a whole African drumming what do you call it? Homecoming event that they're dealing with today with African dancers and sort of a Mardi Gras kind of look where not, everything, we just horribly sad, but to raise the consciousness of the spirits, to tell the Great Spirit, please accept the soul of Miss Brenda Quant. So
Just
go
a
ahead, Mary. Say
wonderful
something
one.
about Brenda.
Brenda came here once, and because we talked her into coming to possibly see one of the doctors here. And after that, she did good for a while. She stayed here for 3 months, felt good, and went back home and was doing good. Brenda was a person you would love to know. She wrote books for children. And she was, she was a person that you could sit and talk to and feel good about it. I don't know, for years, I know Brenda and Ted have been a part of my family for years.
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard. She was a teacher also.
So we not only have to send Brenda back, and now we have to send Sandra Simmons.
Sandra.
Charles and Sandra have been married some 15, 16 years, probably longer than that.
Yeah.
And we were at the wedding. I remember when her two sons walked her down the aisle. And Sandra had a heart attack last Saturday and succumbed to that event the following day. We didn't even get a chance to get ourselves together to say anything. And a couple of days ago, Marianne, I wrote Charles, sent him a text message, and was telling him how just down and devastated we all feeling. And what he wrote back was that he was vacillating between prayers and tears. And we all, just the impact that she had on our lives, right up until the moment that she started to get sicker and sicker. She was working on cases and working on senior projects and working on
She was a
activities.
minister.
Yes, working on different activities about equality and social justice. Reverend Sandra Simmons. Arrangement still being discussed. Marion and Carolyn, a couple of folks went over to her sister's house a couple of days ago to start, at least talking about, what we all feel and what we all have been feeling about Sandra. So, Marion, I think at that particular activity there were no specifics shared, but you want to say anything about visiting over there the other day?
Oh, it's so warm. And everybody said, they all were shocked, and they knew that she had been sick for a long time. But she wouldn't stop, just like Brenda. They both kept moving and doing something. So everybody was just it was quiet, and we all sit down while the family prepared the dinner and looked at some old movies. And knowing you look like I could just hear her voice around in that living room when we were sitting there. Everybody was expressing how, their emotions about how she made them different in their lives,
Yes,
and what have
yes.
you. So it was, we kept waiting on Maureen, but she was at work. It was a hard feeling thing, and Charles, and you would see Charles once they got married. If you see Charles, you see Brenda. Not Brenda. I'm getting the two messed up now.
Sandra, no, we
Sandra.
lock and lock here.
And
you know?
if you and vice versa for him, the two of them were always together. If
Yeah.
he wasn't teaching or doing something like that, so we have to give back
Give
these
back
two
Sandra.
souls,
Yeah.
and know that They are great people, and we tell General and all the rest of them hello for us.
You know, for whatever reason, I was thinking about some Highland Park folks that we've lost of late. And I had in my mind Emma Fogel. I don't know why I thought about Emma. And
Yeah.
even when Emma was sick and sick and
She's
sick,
still-
she's still on the phone. She's still organizing.
Calling everybody
You know,
that she had to call.
It just continuously, and then go to sleep and don't wake up. I'm thinking about Sandra. What's her name? Sandra Turner.
No, not
You know,
you
what's her
talking
first
about-
name? Sandra Sharon.
Now you messed me up.
All right. Well, in a
But yeah,
minute.
last
Yeah,
name
last
is-
name was Turner.
Uh-huh.
All right, and I'm trying to think of her because I looked at her picture when I was down to Welfare Rights yesterday.
Yeah.
And there was another one involved with welfare rights, involved with the Highland Park Human Rights Coalition, and involved. And I look on my Christmas tree and I got a Christmas card from William X. And thought about William X. And boy, I can remember when William was in the hospital and he was on his last few days and was on the phone, and his girlfriend, what was her name? I can't think of her. Linda. Linda was taking pictures of no, that's wrong one. I'm thinking about Tashi. Tashi.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, Tashi in the hospital, and Linda was taking his pictures, and he was on his last few days, and asking Linda about, well, what about the meeting I missed, and what happened?
Oh, he
And
had to
these
be in
kind
this
of
meeting.
organizers, Miss Johnson, what's her name in the Waterfront movie? Valerie. Valerie Johnson, and looking at the Waterfront movie and how she was talking about her son saying, don't go to the meeting, whatever day that was, stay with me.
That's
And that was her son talking, and she did, and he passed that day.
Yes, he did.
And that she was there with him, and she's gone. I remember when you and I visited her in hospital, and she was in and out of consciousness. But would wake up and smile a little bit, say a couple of words, and on morphine drips, and all the people that we know, and especially some of those warriors in Highland Park. I think they're all,
Mama Wheeler.
Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler,
Yeah.
fighters. And I believe that all of those Highland Park warriors of days
miss
gone
'em.
by they sitting up now wondering what is Highland Park going to do about these Great Lakes Water Authority people
goodness.
that are saying the reason all of the water has the increase, the rates for water have to go up because the people in Highland Park won't pay their water bills. And that's how they always do Detroit. The water bills have to go up because people in Detroit won't
Don't
pay
pay
their
no
water
water.
bills. Now it's your turn.
Around the
What are you
suburb-
saying?
And the other suburbs, they don't realize if they let the water go up here, it's going to go up in the suburbs.
We service them.
So Maureen,
Well, is that true or not? Did the people in Highland Park not fail to pay their water
No.
bill?
No.
Then set the story
You know,
straight.
if you
It's a
even
lie.
if you even get a quarter from them, it's better than the Great Lakes Water Department being the head of the water department. Now they ain't head of the water department. I guess they are.
Yeah,
when
they
you
are
think-
the head of
when
the
you
water,
think about
yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah, they control what
They
goes on,
control
know.
everything what's going on. We're saying to Highland Parkers today, look,
tell
it's
that
time
big
for
lie.
you to get ready, put your boots on and everything. But because we're ready to go confront Great
Lakes.
Great Lakes Water
Authority.
Authority, it's terrible.
Well,
they make all this money.
Well, they
Maureen.
told that lie. And the lie is
what I was
is that they have to raise the rates because people in Highland Park are refusing to pay water bills.
These
That's such a
capitalists
lie.
are no
Such a
good.
lie.
No good. They look in your face and laugh and act like everything is going lippy dippy and everything like that. And you look around and they still stealing money from you. Hold on, Parkers. It's time. If city council won't do nothing, If the mayor don't do nothing, well, it's up to us to do it. Let's give Highland Park a clean sweep and begin to fight again. All right.
Well, clearly, the residents of Highland Park are going to have to make some kind of response.
Yeah,
You
and
can't
stop
have Channel 2, 4, and 7 saying that, lying, saying that the reason that the water rates have to go up is because Highland Parkers won't pay their water bills. And it just it's an absurd statement, and just
They
denigrating.
too high anyway.
You know. So, that's going on right now. And of course, the story on all channels, local and national, is this carnage and this killing
Lord have mercy.
that's going on in Europe
madman.
with the people in the Ukraine. And, I don't have all of the details about how long this fight has been going on. What I know was several years ago when the Soviet Union, and it was 8, 9, 10 countries, and they were a bloc. And when the Soviet Union broke up, and it was Russia, and it was Belarus, and it was, the different places, Ukraine was part of that bloc. And to look at what's going on now, Marion, and Russians shooting other Russians in
Are
the
they
Ukraine,
neighbor? And now they're neighbors.
Ugh.
It's scared too, like a man said this morning. Scared too because they're nowhere from there.
They're right there.
They're right there, and they
That's just
cannot
like
stand.
Detroit shooting people in Highland Park.
Uh-huh.
We're cousins. We live next door to each other. We've always
Family
been
friendly.
here,
It's
and it's so sad to
but
see.
who benefit from it?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, we know who benefit from it here. And
Well-
then it's these people that are arriving in here that don't have to pay these high taxes that they give get them to come in and cut their taxes.
I think the people that are benefiting are those folks that are involved with selling guns and selling bullets and
Well,
tanks.
that's who
The
they are.
war machine.
That's who it is. They make
You
it
know,
plain
the war machine. I mean, we need food. They do too. We need housing. They do too. Health care. They do too. All of the stuff that we need, they need the same thing. But all of a sudden, I hate it when you look in their pocket. You say, oh, what's this $1 billion doing in there? And they found money to be able to subsidize wars. And it's just, there's a side story to this now. All these people, the women that are walking for miles to get to safety and got the children in tow and the kids
Get
is
on the
crying
train.
all over the place. And they sleeping everywhere they can because they so tired. And then getting on these trains. But now we've got this other story that's coming out. And that story is that black Nigerian students, professors that are in the Ukraine in universities are trying to leave the country, and they're being discriminated against,
Yeah.
Marion.
Yeah,
And
that's
people are pushing them at the end of the line 3 and 4 and 5 days. These Nigerians and Ghanese people are talking about, we were on the we were on the train, and they came and told us to get off. And, at first I thought maybe that was a story around women and children. But as these black Africans were telling the story, it seems like straight out discrimination, and I was trying to think, what is it that folks in
Every
Ukraine,
time.
what are they mad at me about? What did I do to make it so I couldn't get on a train so that I could leave a place where gunshots and bombs are being dropped? Marion, why don't we take a moment and take this call? Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Ask Welfare Rights broadcast. You are on the air, caller. Go ahead.
Grand Rising, ladies.
And Grand Rising, how are you?
I'm well, and you. Thank you for being on the air again. Highland Park truly appreciate your contributions on this show.
We appreciate you too,
Okay.
young lady.
All right, go ahead, Grand
I got
Rising.
the
What you
Highland
got
Park
for us
news
today?
update for you. You know, you were talking about the situation in Ukraine,
Yes.
and you
Yeah,
know, just like you, I hate war. I hate war.
we all
Any
Yeah.
do.
war, if it's in the Sudan, Haiti, the Middle East, Highland Park, Detroit.
That's
Yeah.
Uh,
right.
I'm going to give an unbiased announcement on this event coming up Saturday, March the 5th. Here's the city sent this out,
An event.
but I know my mother always taught me charity starts at home and spreads abroad, Linda. I haven't seen anything or anywhere. Well, we pay for Highland Park. We pray for Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Please join Mayor Yap and the administration of the city of Highland Park at 1 p.m.
Saturday.
on Saturday, March the 5th, as we go forth and petition the Lord to move on behalf of the families and government of the Ukraine. We are asking that the community, churches, and ministers join us for a special gathering and meet us adjournment from the police department located at 13233 Hamilton in Highland Park. That's this Saturday.
Okay, now this Saturday, 1 o'clock, and what is the address of the gathering again?
The
13?
address again is that it's on the State Building on Hamilton, and the address is 13233 Hamilton.
Okay, 13233 Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
an opportunity to have moments of silence, moments of prayer, moments of good wishes to the folks, not just in Ukraine, but everywhere
Everywhere.
that are under stress. So that sounds like a good plan to me, Miss Grand Rising. Go ahead.
Okay. Just let me scroll down.
Yeah,
Sorry
she
for one
mentioned it,
second. I kind of
but she
lost
didn't have
my
it for me the
place.
other day.
Okay, of course, always too as well. You know the COVID. You can still get your vaccines, your Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson and Johnson every Monday and Wednesday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Offering the first and second dose and offering booster shots. Vaccines available for children 12 and up. Free COVID testing Monday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Walk-ins welcome at the Ernest T. Ford Recreation Center, 10 Pinkett, Highland Park, Detroit. That's your vaccine shots, your boosters, your COVID testing, and walk-ins are welcome.
Okay, that information was put on a flyer that came out of the governor's office, and along with other locations where people could go and walk in, make an appointment, not make an appointment. And I just wanted you to know, Miss Linda, that the Highland Park vaccination and testing site is included in that list. It's a long list. And
Great.
yeah, Detroit, Highland Park, Hamtramck, all the places where you can go, and throughout the state. So
Great.
Highland Park is included on that list.
Great.
All right, now you know you're
This
going to
site,
have
I
to.
understand, has been receiving large numbers, especially when they first opened up. People from the suburbs was coming to Highland Park because
Yeah.
all are welcome, and the workers that work there, they fight to get Highland Park spots.
Okay.
You get what?
Okay,
Yes.
to get in line to get spots so
Oh,
that
yeah.
they get the
Yes.
best name.
Now
Okay, now
let's
Miss
not forget
Linda,
Sonny's neck
wait a
bones,
minute.
y'all.
Last week, we had to rush you through some things because the treasurer was here. Why don't you tell us one more update about that restaurant that you went to?
Oh Lord.
I went there Thursday. You know, it's a
Are you talking about
drive
yesterday?
up. I'm sorry, what you said?
Did you say yesterday you went there?
Last week. I'm
Last
sorry.
last Thursday. Okay, tell us about that
Last
restaurant.
Thursday, I went to the grand opening, and baby, let me tell you, that grilled cheese sandwich with neck bones on there,
Ah,
that Panera bread is toasted. Wow.
Okay.
I also ordered the tater tots and neck bones. I had meat in the bottom,
Tater tots.
meat in the middle, and meat on top. And it's a lot of food, Maureen.
Okay.
I had enough for 2 days.
Okay.
I'm gonna let
Okay.
you and
And
Maureen go
delicious.
there.
Now I got the pork. I
Ain't
got
had
the
tater
beef. I
tots
didn't
in
get the
years.
pork, but it was still tasty. And they give you 2 sauces with that, but you can put a sauce of your own special choice on there.
Okay. Alrighty. Where is this restaurant? Tell us where it is
Right.
one more time.
I'm going to give the phone number. It's 248-257-0471. And the location is 16455 Woodward Avenue, Highland Park. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, the fourth Saturday of the month, they do not sell their food because the church has a food giveaway, and they had a hot plate of delicious vegetables and chicken that they were passing out to the community, and I got a plate too.
Okay. Okay.
That's nice.
All right, Grand Rising. Any other information about upcoming events in Highland Park you need to share with us?
Well, our Highland Park Board of Education regular meeting is this Tuesday on Zoom, and I can have that posted, the link. Please, we're asking all to support.
Board
I'm
of Ed
encouraging
meeting.
everybody to support our district. Of course, support our schools and support our city.
Okay. All righty. Grand Rising, as always, a wonderful and a detailed report, letting us know where we need to be and what time we need to be there. We're going to depend on you to join us again next Friday with any upcoming events. And as always, we are in your debt, and thank you for sharing all of these details.
Like my daddy say, what was that? If the creek don't rise or something like that.
No.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. That's
There
how
we
that
go.
went.
Grandmother used to say that all the time.
All righty. Thank you, Miss Linda.
You're welcome. Love
All right.
you both.
All right.
care.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so now we've said some things about this horrible Ukraine mess, and you know we're for peace, and you know what we're seeing on TV is ugly, and there's a different side. There's another stream in this, and that's what we were talking about. These persons of color that are on the train to try to leave the area and being put off the train. That came up on a phone call I was in yesterday, and that's been verified by some of the international press. Then there's another situation, and boy, this is where I miss Al. Al is Polish.
Al who?
Al Gladek.
There you go.
All right. And Al is battling some health challenges. And Al, and boy, I miss him so much, having our conversations and him
he's
telling
good.
me some of his history. Al is a Vietnam era soldier, and talked about the difficulties he had at age 18 and 19 when he was drafted, and how he went to different camps to try to learn how to be a soldier, and how he tells these stories, man. Al, 18 and 19, coming up in Hamtramck and Detroit, didn't have biases about stuff. So here he is down in Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi, all of that, and white soldiers were having trouble with black soldiers, and when he went for basic training, he went with black soldiers that he knew. So he tried to figure out what's the problem. And then, very, very busy, finally, when he was able to come home, Marion, and talks about how he was a plant committee man.
Oh, yeah, he
And
was there for a long time.
talked about his job as a UAW Chrysler union member, that his job was to visit the workers 2 times a day. And after he would check in and put his belongings up or whatever he had to do, he would go to each station and ask Jim and ask Mary and Sam and whoever else, how are things going with you today? And that was part of his work profile, caring. But I remember when he talked about after he had served his time in Vietnam, and come back home and in the plant had his eye on some beautiful looking African American woman and started dating her. And people thought, oh my God, what are you doing? You're a Polish person and you're going out with this black woman. And I was trying to say, well, she's a worker just like me. And how Al had that reputation that, you know, you got to watch him, because not only could he be trying to swoop up your white women, he might try to swoop up your black women as well. And it was just
Al
hilarious to
has
hear him talking
always-
about it, you know.
Al was a guy that
Marion,
you could always
come up a little, yeah, so I can hear
can't
you.
get this.
Yeah, but here.
You could always depend on
Yes.
him bringing forth the activities of what was going on, not
Yes.
only in the factory, but on a national and international level. And you just enjoyed him. You know, when General passed away, Al would come by and,
Yeah.
and check on us and what have you. And I know that I miss sometimes I end up calling him, but it'd be a pocket call or something like that, and we just be cracking up laughing about that. Hey, is that you again, Marion? I said,
I know.
sure is.
I remember, and I tell this story. Navarre is 36 years old now. And Navarre's born at Hutzel Hospital. And I'm a first time parent. I don't know nothing about having babies. Ain't that what the lady said? I don't know nothing about birthing babies and nothing about no having no babies. And here come my friends from the UAW and from welfare rights, and you know I wasn't even involved that much at that time. But here come my buddies and visits. I still remember how funny it was. Jen come to see me, and at that time you had to be the husband or the boyfriend of whoever it was who had the baby. And Jen come in there loud and crazy. I'm the baby's daddy. So they give Jen the pass so he come and visit me. And here come Mitch. I'm the baby's daddy. And here come Waistline. I'm the baby's daddy. And then all three black guys. Then when Al showed up, and they looked, well, you have to be, you know, you have to be the husband or you have to be the baby's daddy. And Al said, yeah, I'm the baby's daddy. And that's when nobody else was screened to come to my room. They didn't ask no more questions. And I still laughed because Al came up and, you know, Mo, I told him downstairs that I was the baby's daddy. And they told me, just go up and visit her. And to this day, I think about how funny that was. And all of my buddies, especially that Waistline, walking up and down the hallway looking for the doors that said storage. And they were going in there and they were stealing baby blankets and stealing cases of water and all this kind of stuff and bringing it to my room. And I was saying, oh my God, I ain't going to be able to go home with this baby. I'm going to jail. Look at all this stuff they done stole up the walls with baby carts and baby carriages and all of that. And that was long after Marion gave me a baby shower. You remember that? Marion gave me a baby shower, and I was on the sweet kick even back then. And Marion told everybody that came to my baby shower to bring me a cake or pie. And at the baby shower, by the time I finally got there were cakes and pies and donuts and custards and all kind of stuff. And I was looking, boy, this is the best baby shower anybody in the world can have, because everything I love was on the table, you know. So I say that to say how much we miss Al. He's got a good support system, but Al has got some dementia issues creeping up. And boy, I miss, like Marion says, I miss talking to him all the time. I bring that up, Marion, because there apparently is an official statement coming out of Poland from the government, where the government has suggested any any trains arriving from the Ukraine to close to the Polish border will not be allowed to enter Polish space if there are persons of color on that train.
When they announced that?
Yesterday, day before yesterday. And they don't want that. And I really wanted to talk to Al about that. I was talking to Dave about it yesterday, and he looked it up. And Reuters and some of these BBC reporters are announcing that that is in fact the case. So black folks are not wanted running from this problem. They don't want black folks, Africans in Poland, but at the same time in Romania, and you know that's where my road dog John Ricolta's from. All right, but in Romania, as soon as they saw the Polish statement, Romanian government issued a message, tell all immigrants that are running and want safety. I guess the same thing happened in Sweden also. We don't care what color you are. You're African and you need a place to run and hide, come down here to Romania.
right
We're
on.
going to pick you up. Just get as far as you can and walk the rest of the way. As soon as you get to the border, we're going to pick you up and take you to somebody's house. Bring everybody. And the folks in Sweden said the same thing. We'll take anybody free of charge because we're humanitarians. Don't that make your heart
makes
feel
you
good?
feel real good.
You know, you can come hit us, and we'll take care of you free of charge, and we don't care how long you're going to stay. A week, a month, a year, 10 years. Come on. And we'll take care of this because we are all fighting for the peace in the world. Just a warm statement.
Yes,
but I
sir.
felt bad when I saw that Polish statement because folks are now saying, I'm prepared to send money and resources and whatnot, but people are now saying, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. We better look at this a little bit more. So, you know, that's the kind of problems that being discussed and being highlighted around the world. And then, Marian, I wanted to say something about this press conference I was at today. And this is the first report of the task force on racial disparities. And for that first year from 2020 to 2021, what happened. And some of the highlights that the task force was able to manage was we all went into this thing trying to deal with differences in the way different color people were treated. And nobody had a thought, Marian, that we were going to end racism on this task force. Not after decades and centuries, right? So we weren't going to do that. But what we are able to do and better to do was to reduce the gap, into that gap. And I can remember back in 2020 talking to you, talking to Gracie, talking to Linda and some other folks, where is the Highland Park Health Department? And I was told it's in Wayne, Michigan. And what? What? That didn't make sense.
Not in Wayne, Michigan.
Yeah, they
Down
told
the
me
street.
it was the Highland Park
And
could
what-
go to Wayne, Michigan. That was
Okay.
the first thing they told me. Then things started to change with you and Gracie and other folks getting involved and making certain that the Highland Parkers could go and seek medical care in Highland Park.
Gracie was
You know,
in front of that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, you know, and then the effort to recruit CVS's and Rite Aid pharmacies and Kroger's and what's that store down the street there? Myers and various places of worship and colleges and universities and where else? All of these places, a myriad of others that would test and later vaccinate, including the creation and the engagement of a mobile testing unit, multiple vans that would come and set up at this corner or in front of that convalescent center so people could not only be tested for COVID, but look and see if you got some pre-existing conditions of diabetes or high blood pressure or some of these other healthcare concerns that low-income communities have a whole lot of, black and white low-income communities, because they don't have access to health care.
You know, and you know, the thing about it is the gentleman that was that's over the clinic over there, he ended up being pretty good. You know, we had a long meeting with him. It was we came to a conclusion, and the stuff is still going on.
Are
As
you
far
talking about that the clinic? What's the name of it? Green?
green something?
Is that's the one you talking about?
one of them? Yeah, over there, the one on the strip.
Okay, the strip mall that's up there by Manchester.
Uh-huh.
All right, but you all have a couple of sites now.
Now.
Not only what Linda's talking about, but back in 2020, several things you all were able to open up. Gracie was very instrumental in that, in opening up places where people could go get blood pressure testing and diabetic testing.
That's up at
and,
the.
you
It's
know.
still going on over at the center.
What center is that?
Oh, I can't even remember.
You're
the name.
not
Center.
talking about the one on Pitkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that
Pitkin.
Linda talked about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the rec center.
Uh-huh.
That's what you
It's
mean.
still
Yeah,
going
still
on.
going on,
And,
still
and,
going
and
on.
working out. That's Sue over there. She's
Is that the nurse?
no, she's the head of the
Rec?
center.
Okay.
Rec center.
Okay. Okay. So
And
you know,
they've been successful because that's why you and I went to to get ours.
well, the
and it-
deal. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go on.
The deal was, what could we do on the task force to make testing and other health test activities go on across the country, and not across the country, but across the state. And I want you to say something, if you can recall, the trouble that one of our dearest comrades, our dearest friends, Jackie Schrader, living up in Pellston, and here she has a cyst. And she's got to drive from Pellston 7.5, 8 hours all the way. Here's the Michigan. She up here, and she got to drive all the way to Detroit Henry Ford Hospital to find treatment. And I didn't believe it when she told me. What are you talking about? You have to pass through all these other places. Somebody along the way is able to treat a female cyst. What are you talking about? No, I couldn't find. And she was stopping. She was calling these different hospitals. And I finally got involved with the telephone call, and I made Dr. Dave get in there with me. And she was right, Marion. Had to
It's
drive all the way from Pellston to come to
Come down,
Detroit.
and then she had to stay here for the longest until they get finished and find and try to get one of her kids to come get her, pick her up to take her back home again.
Oh, boy, that was
I
an
mean,
ordeal.
It was something
And it's
else.
not fixed yet.
And no, it's not fixed. But you know what? That woman is strong.
Yes, she is.
I look when we having our welfare rights meetings, and I look at the people on the
call.
and I said, "Look who." I said, "She right there."
Yeah. Part of what the task force was able to expose is limited access to health care.
That's right.
Where low-income communities are living. 868-4336.
Especially up there,
Especially Pellston, Traverse City.
all around up in the Upper Peninsula.
You know, no, Lower Peninsula.
she's at the law.
Yeah, Pellston is here. Pellston is here. She
I
got to
thought
go
she had
further to
gone-
get
I
to
thought
Marquette.
you know what?
In the upper part of the Lower Peninsula. And how difficult that was, even for her to go to Marquette, was about 6.5 hours.
I
And,
went up there
you
one
know,
time to see her, and I just enjoyed myself. They made me think about people in the South. Soon you walked in the house, sit down. We've prepared meals for you and everything. I just enjoyed myself. Just a great, hear people up there fighting poverty to
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
and just a warm welcome in their home when you get there. You home.
In the healthcare industry, and this is across the country for sure, and certainly in Michigan. If you got comments, we're down to our last 10 minutes. 868-433-60-351 or 868-0342. 15. Okay, thank you very much. So, thinking about Jackie and having to drive, I say, one way, 7.5, 8 hours. And that's how we first discovered, certainly I did, that they've got an apartment complex connected to Henry Ford that I didn't know about. So Jackie has 2 or 3
Henry
days
Ford.
worth connected
Oh,
to
you're
Henry
talking
Ford
about for
Hospital.
people to stay there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so you have to Monday and Tuesday you have a bunch of tests, and then that's Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday you're resting, and then Thursday they want you to come back. Well, you can't drive, from Pelston back and forth like that. And so I'm asking the question, why couldn't you have all of it done at the same time? Because it takes time to get the test results back. Well, where can she go? And that's when they first started talking about the living quarters next door
Door to the-
to the hospital.
The new section.
You know?
Yeah.
And I did not know that anything like that was in existence. I went over there and did a little research to find out how much it cost. It was about $80 a day for
A
a
day?
full suite. For a full suite, had enough space in there for not eight, but 4 or 5 people, so her kids could come. And how I had no idea that place was there. Caller, you've been very patient. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi.
Yes,
Hopefully everybody's fine this morning.
and we
Hey,
are. Okay,
Gracie.
good morning. Go ahead.
I just wanted to first of all say, it comes back to this whole thing about hate poverty, not
right.
the poor.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, with Highland Park and this whole attack on Highland Park.
You're right.
Yes.
And the fact that Gliwa owes Highland Park $1 million.
That's right.
And the day at that board meeting, what had everybody so hot under the collar is that the director of the water department had, I don't know how many times he's done this, but he again gave them a breakdown of the overpayments and a schedule, like a escrow of how Highland Park was paying and what was the overbilling amount. And so they had all that on their mind. When they know that if a case is in litigation, they should not even be talking about it. So it's this whole thing about redirecting and trying to attack
That's
the
it.
poor
There you go.
communities, instead of talking about the real issue, which is water affordability.
Yes. Yes.
Just like the other city said, hey, we have, I think it was Madison Heights, they said we have a lot of low-income people in our city. We cannot afford to raise rates. And people are forgetting that because of all this infrastructure, rates are being raised locally, and then Gliwa is going to raise rates on top of it. And then you have people who are coming off the moratorium in Detroit. So what they should be talking about is water affordability and how water rates, and all this infrastructure can be repaired,
Yes.
and we can stop drinking water full of lead.
You got
Yes.
that right.
Yes.
So all of this needs to be refocused, and they won't do that. They want us to, one poor community attack the other poor community instead of talking about the essence, which is water affordability.
Well, Grace, it's so good to hear your voice. That's like the slave master and all of them used to do with the slaves, pit them against one another, and where he can run his place, and not have to worry about them. You got people like that at Great Lakes. And, we got to get, that's why I was saying this morning, we got to get back out. And it's got to be Great Lakes being the first one that we deal with. Because that attack on Highland Park is an attack on Detroit, Hamtramck, and all the rest. People got to understand we got to come together and not let them get away with this. They rake in a lot. I bet if we go find how much they have made in a year's time, we'll be screaming. So I'm glad you came on because it's time to hit the road again.
And Gracie, you said something about a board meeting. Was there a board meeting today?
No, that was last week.
Last week there was a
When they
board
announced
meeting.
That right after, you remember there were reports. I think that was last week, or was it the week before?
No, it
when
was
all
last
the
week.
reporters were talking about how Glewa attacked Highland Park, said we
Yeah.
were deadbeats, weren't paying our bill, and that's why everybody else's rates had to go up.
Well, I'll say this. One of the essays that Thomas Jefferson, a slaveholder and former previous president, Thomas Jefferson, in one of the essays, and he wrote brilliant words, he did. And in one of his compositions, he talked about how far you can push people before they're willing to make some kind of assessment about how they're not going to live like that anymore. And that you could continue to hurt slaves, and you could continue to abuse projects and abuse governments and all that kind of stuff, and the people will not holler. And I know that that's true. You already know, Gracie, me and your husband, Chuck, we would get on the phone. Man, Wooten would call me, Maureen, you watching this? And for years at your house and at my house, we watched World War II in color.
I remember.
And he would call me, you got to know, no, I forgot what channel. And we would turn it on. I called him, and we looked at how many Jewish people had the information before they started being burned up. When they pushed Jewish people and Polish people and trade unionists, organizers, and pushed them into the Warsaw ghettos. And you knew these people here, they ain't meaning us no good. And then it got worse, and then it got worse, and then it got worse. And finally, after the World War II was starting to end, and it was Russians that went in there and started to make certain that these death camps were getting liberated. But look at all of what happened ahead of time.
Yeah.
And people, always wait for somebody else to fix it.
Always.
See, right now, folks in Highland Park are waiting on Marion.
Me.
They waiting on Gracie. They waiting on Linda. They waiting on Pat. They waiting on Eugenia. They waiting on somebody else. Tim is over here in the station. They waiting on RJ. They waiting on somebody else to fix
To
this.
do it for them.
You see,
And
and
if you go knock on the door, nah, I don't want to be involved.
and that's terrible.
Now I'm not knocking on the door because you might not own the house. I just want to know, do you need help?
Don't
want to
get involved. So Miss Gracie, I don't know what to tell you. The folks in Highland Park had what's that statement? They said your mama ain't doo doo. That what they said. They said your daddy ain't blank blank blank, and threw down the gauntlet. And now waiting to see if the people in Highland Park
do
gonna step
anything.
up. You gonna say something? They talked about your mother. They talked about your daddy. Said you ain't nothing, and I can do what I want to do.
And
Now let's
own
see.
the water.
You ain't gonna tell me, Negro.
It burnt my
What you
heart.
gonna do?
That time that that fool we had for president, Trump, when he walked and looked at the Great Lakes and said we have to make sure that capitalists are able to also be a part of this and be able to get more water and whatever.
Privatize.
I said, what? I didn't hear that, and I tried to tell people about that. People didn't want to hear it.
Well, where we
Yeah,
are
yeah.
is where we are. So go ahead,
But
Miss
where
Gracie.
we are is that, like, this fight is bigger than just Highland Park.
Yep.
This fight is a fight for water affordability.
Yep.
And the fact that water is a human right. It is not a commodity. So that means that everybody should be involved in this fight for water affordability.
That's right.
And, World Water Week is going to be celebrated
This
the week of the 20th.
The week of the
of March.
20th. Yeah.
And there are people, led by the, the People's Water Board and Welfare Rights, who are going to be going down talking to people in the legislature, because there are bills
That's right.
that
We've been trying
deal
to
with
get those.
water infrastructure,
Bills passed
water,
all along.
the fact that, we do not want water being bottled and taken to other
Privatized. Yes.
cities or countries. This is bigger than Highland Park.
Yes, it
And
is.
people have to realize that, you're not going to be able to afford water if it's up to these people who are buying up all these water rights.
That's right.
So we all have to, come together and, try to get these water affordability, all the cities that are trying to get water affordability passed to get it passed.
Well, now,
And two, that the whole fight, around the country.
Yes.
Water is a human right.
it's a human right. Miss Gracie, within the next few days, within the next few weeks, I hope to hear from the Highland Park Human Rights Coalition and someone, organization somewhere
Well,
is
you know
going
what
to
it's
say,
about.
we're going to step forward and we're going to do something about this attack. Because certainly Michigan Welfare Rights, we're ready to join in whatever response that is, okay?
Okay, that sounds good. Because we've done, I tell you, Baker, he used to say, there are different ways you can fight.
Yes, right.
You can fight in the courts, you can
Like the
take
courts,
it,
the streets,
legislation, and you got to take it to the streets.
Yep.
So there are many ways you can fight. We've done the legislation with the lawsuit against Highland Park that the Human Rights Committee did in the early 200s.
Wrap up.
But then we did the petitions. We sent all these petitions to the GLEWA
Yeah.
saying, give us our $1 million. Now I guess we do have to try to take it to the streets.
That's
Yep, there's
right.
no question.
It's time to go to the street.
Well, all right, Miss Gracie,
Yeah.
we got to wrap up now. Glad that you were able to get your comments in, and we certainly agree with you, and we're going to depend on you to call us again next Friday so that we can get any updates on whatever else is going on, and we know you'll be the one to give us that information when we're on the air next, okay?
All right.
And thank
Thanks,
you so much,
Gracie.
Miss Gracie. Marion, you
Okay.
have 30
Bye-bye.
seconds to wrap up.
Yeah, I got less than that. I hope to see you next week, and I hope you are calling one of us to be able to call Welfare Rights and let us know whether or not you want to join in with this fight. The time is for everybody, even if you're on a wheelchair and everything. It's time for us to start fighting back to Great Lakes and let them know that's our water also.
You can call us at Welfare Rights 313-964-0618. 313-964-0618.
One last thing.
You have 10 seconds.
And
Nine,
and
eight,
it's time for
7,
city
6,
council to get off their
5.
behinds and get in the street also.
All righty. What we always say at the end of every broadcast, creek, rise, Lord, look after us, and goodbye.
That was good.